Hello everybody, I'm Oliver, this is Chaotic Bibliophile, and please ignore my eye bags. I shouldn't be recording at this time, but the heart wants what it wants. First of all, yes, I know I have to get rid of these books, but I haven't yet. These are my ever-growing pile of read books that I still haven't moved to my read shelf or gotten rid of them as it pertains. I really need to go to the secondhand shop to sell the books. I just haven't gotten the time really. But anyways, thank you so much for your response to my comeback video. It was just so nice. People were really excited about the podcast. I have recorded the first episode, so expect it in a couple weeks. Yeah, I took a few pictures, and again, it's a podcast but as a video. It was really fun to record, and I have a decent amount of friends who want to join. They are all bookish people and have lots of different experiences and backgrounds and do different things and approach literature and reading differently. So yeah, hopefully it'll be something you all enjoy. But a couple of people also said they would like to see my rapid fire favorite books of the year so far, so I did that. What I've basically done is go through my story graph and put every book that I think has a shot and didn't do any further curation after that. So if I questioned it a bit too much, then I said, okay, then it's not going on the list. But it's still like a sizable list, and I have high hopes for some of my reading for the rest of the year. Let's start. These are not in any particular order of preference, it's literally just chronological. So the first one is Mums by Ma YeongShin. This is graphic novel about the author's moms. It's not fiction, in South Korea, and it's just really interesting because it's about the love and sex lives of women over 50 in a very conservative society, also as interpreted by one of the mom's artist son, and I think that's fascinating. And it was so funny and a bit mean, but not to the moms, just the way they behave with each other is just really interesting and great. And How to Pronounce Knife by Souvankham Thammavongsa. I might have butchered that, I'm really sorry. But yeah, this is one of the best short story collections ever written. It's by a Canadian Laotian author, and a lot of them are about identity and language, you know, as How to Pronounce Knife sort of anticipates. There are also lots of stories about sexism and yeah, being a working woman in Canada, and it's just really interesting. Then I have Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. This I listened to on audio, and I think I would have liked it nonetheless, but I do think I liked it more because of the audio. When I say Eliza Clark didn't read this so much as performed this. Then My Documents by Alejandro Zambra, one of the best short story collections ever written. Once again, contemporary short stories set in Chile, mostly in the 21st century, but there are, I think, some stories set in the 90s. A lot of dealing with the legacy of the dictatorship, talks about masculinity and parenthood. A lot of really strangely homoerotically charged stories, which was a delight. Generally very homosocial, but not in an obnoxious way, I would say. Females by Andrea Chu, a book-length essay meditation on transness, femaleness, and Solana's is it Scum Manifesto? No, or maybe the play. Yeah, a play that she did. Anyways, yeah, Valerie Solana's and Andrea Chu's complicated relationship with the play, and it's just brilliant. Similar vein, or well, not really. I just remember being in this mood for critical essays at the time, and so I reread Pretentiousness, Why It Matters by Dan Fox, and it really is brilliant. I remember it's not what I expected, but it went to places that were even more satisfying than expected, so yeah, highly recommend. Then A Chunker, Wellness by Nathan Hill. This was completely a dark horse. I never would have expected that I would love it as much as I did. It's this very Jonathan Franzen-esque sweeping marriage slash family saga across many decades. It's very, very modern, very relevant, very funny. I just fell in love with it, and it's like a 500 plus page book, but I couldn't stop reading it. Against Borders, The Case for Abolition. I didn't write the authors for this one. I don't know why, but it's nonfiction about border abolition, and it's brilliant. It talks about it in very realistic and a bit gloomy ways, but also it ends on a positive note, or like optimistic note, to push for change. Interpreter of Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri might be one of my new favorite books ever. Each short story is a gem, and I want to cry every time I think about them. I'll definitely reread it next year, and I would be surprised if this isn't my book of the year. Then String Theory by David Foster Wallace. Ugh, I hate how much I like his nonfiction. He was a horrible person, and yet I am fascinated by him, especially as a nonfiction writer. I don't care about tennis at all, so it was even more impressive to me that I loved these essays. What can I say? Then you have The Right to Remain Fat by Virgie, Tovar, and another book-length essay. Does what it says on the tin. Life-changing. I wish I had read this 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It would have been a great addition to my video on having a body, link down below and in the eye as always. Yeah, I recommend it to everyone, but especially if you've struggled with your weight or your body image. It's just so liberating and so beautiful and so fun to read as well. She just has such an amazing personality. This is my other book of the year. So if I did a fiction and non-fiction separate list, which I don't think I will do, but if I did, then this would be number one. As it stands, maybe it'll be number two, or maybe it'll just be a tie. Who knows? Maybe I'll read another favorite this year. Who knows? Biography of X by Catherine Lacey. Just dense perfection, fictional non-fiction. Yeah, brilliant, about art and love, and do we ever know the people that we love, and artists, and how they are all fucked. Get the Picture by Bianca Bosker. She's such a great non-fiction writer. Journalist Bianca Bosker, who previously set herself the task of understanding wine people and became a sommelier just for the sake of it, gets immersed in the art world. I don't know if I liked it more or less than I just liked it the same. It's just so good. Escape from St. Hell by Louise Hancox, graphic novel about transness, sequel to Escape from St. Hell. No, Welcome to St. Hell. This one covers his transition, and first of all, it's hilarious and brilliant, but also it just touched my little heart. It's so painfully relatable, and I am so glad it exists. The Hero of This Book by Elizabeth McCracken, another dark horse. I almost got rid of that proof for many, I was gonna say many years, but that's not true, many occasions where I was purging. And it was part of my Read It or Leave It project, link down below and in the eye. Yeah, I read it and it's brilliant. Again, meditation on how can we truly know people, complicated family relationships, art and fiction writing and memoir writing. It's so good. Rainbow by Lydia Conklin. This one, I don't know if it'll make it just because it has such tough competition in terms of short story collections, but this is still so good. Very queer, very sapphic, very non-binary vibes, very fresh. Yeah, they feel very modern and yet fit very comfortably in the sort of MFA tradition, but in the good way, because you know that can also be a read, but in this case it's a good way. My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. I get it, I didn't expect to, but the translation is brilliant and the writing is so subtle and rich in ways that you wouldn't expect, and the layers of relationships and violence and all the things that people say, it's just brilliant. No pun intended. All Fours by Miranda July. This one I listened to on audio, and it's one that I know I would have liked anyway, but Miranda July is just an amazing reader. The way she reads the things it was a situation where I kept trying to do more things in order to listen to more of it. Older woman, and by older, she's 40 something, so not even properly old. And she gets obsessed with a younger dancer, but she's married. There's lots of stuff about art and sexuality and growing old. It's amazing, and I really highly recommend. Finally, a bonus, because I made this list a week ago or so, and I'm now reading this book, which sadly is only available in Spanish. It's called Gente Común, or Common People, by Rodrigo Fluxa, who actually has appeared in a previous best of the year list with another one of his books. And this is an oral history of a very, very famous Santiago club called Blondie, named after the band. And it is so funny and so great, and it's the interviewees themselves, but also obviously the way they are cut, the interviews, and the way it's arranged, the pacing. I have inhaled this. It's also picked for Shorty September, and it also fulfills a number of other challenges, so that's got me very, very happy. By the way, this again was a rapid fire one for my actual top of the year. I will explain what the books are about and review them better. But yeah, I just really wanted to record this and not have any excuse not to edit it or not to post it. Just, straight to the bone. Let me know, have you read any of these books? Do you want to read any of these books? Any books that I've now put on your radar that you didn't know about? And let me know what your top reads of the year so far are. Podcast coming. It's an hour of audio that I need to mildly edit down. So yeah, see you next time.